The paper we're diving into today is called The Complete Math Solid Candidate Theory of Everything, Key Math, by Stefan Valinga.
Yeah, can't get a much bigger claim than that, right? A theory of everything. It's always one of those phrases that perks up my ears. So, what exactly does Valinga mean by this theory?
At the core, the paper is tackling that age-old problem in physics, the quest for a single, unified mathematical framework that can describe, well, the whole universe. I mean, something that merges gravity, quantum fields, geometry, all the big pieces. Why is this such a big deal? It's because right now we've got general relativity on one side, quantum field theory on the other, and, they basically don't play nicely together.
Yeah, and Valinga's approach is, at least on the surface, very minimal. He's building his model from just a single universal scalar field. He calls it psi, or sometimes y. And everything else, the external and internal geometry, gets wrapped up in mathematical tensors derived from how this field behaves in spacetime. He claims this is all you need.
Right, so let's pick apart some of those ingredients. You've got the external geometry, which is handled by the Einstein tensor, pretty standard in general relativity. Then here comes the new twist, the internal geometry, defined by what he calls the Hessian tensor. This Hessian is basically the second derivative of the scalar field. So it's sort of measuring how the field curves internally, not just how spacetime itself curves.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the really novel aspects. The Hessian isn't something you see as a central player in mainstream cosmology or field theory. Usually, the focus has always been on the metric and the Ricci tensor, but here, the Hessian plays a starring role in the universe's evolution. Actually, it kind of makes me wonder if we've overlooked something by not bringing more second derivatives into the action in other theories.
Maybe. And tying it all together is his universal action. The whole theory fits into a single action built from three ingredients: Ricci scalar for the spacetime geometry, this new Hessian scalar for internal geometry, and field energy. Variation of this action leads to his Stefan equations, which are, sort of the engine of his theory.
Ha! Stefan equations. He's not shy about branding. So, two main equations, a geometric one and a field one. And when he applies these to a standard cosmological model, the Friedmann-Robertson-Walker universe, the system spits out new dynamics for how the universe changes over time, as well as things like the definition of mass arising from the scalar potential.
Think about that. From this setup, mass for what he calls emergent bosons pops out as a property of the scalar field's curvature, the potential specifically. So mass isn't just a fundamental constant, it actually emerges dynamically.
Right, and there's also a new stability law, sort of a constraint, that the universe's evolution must obey. He writes it as delta B require by equal to zero, which is interesting. I'd need about 3 coffees to work through what that really means.
Haha, make that 4. But look, beneath all the math, the big point here is Valinga's giving us a tightly wrapped mathematical package that can, in principle, generate both geometry and matter from a single field. It's bold, and, like all big theories, it'll be debated, poked, prodded, maybe even ignored by some.
Yeah, it's a lot to chew on. And honestly, every so-called theory of everything sort of walks a fine line between hopeful simplicity and overwhelming abstraction. Not saying this is like the answer, but it does push our imaginations in new directions.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, papers like this remind us research isn't about final answers, but about asking, sometimes in really wild, creative ways, what if? And maybe getting us to see old math in a new light.
Couldn't agree more. And hey, even if this one doesn't tie up the universe with a neat little bow, at least it gives us something to talk about. Besides, whether we've had enough coffee.
Never enough coffee.